So what are the three prerequisites, or the three main prerequisites or foundational aspects of creating permanent, lasting breakthrough, transformation, and healing? Now, these three concepts that I'm going to talk about are so critical. And as I said, it lays the foundation for all change and all permanent change. And if these are not present, there is no way that a person can actually create lasting, permanent transformation, healing, and change. They'll only be able to accomplish a certain degree or a certain level. So it's really important to understand this for yourself and for others if you happen to be a healer, a coach, or a counselor, or something in that line of field. So number one is safety. To put it simply, the safety factor equals the healing or transformational factor. If a person doesn't feel safe, there is no way that they're going to be able to let go and become vulnerable and be able to let go of whatever it is that they're holding on to, right? Whatever it is that's causing the pain and suffering in their lives. And so that's why a big part of working with people and counseling and healing and coaching and all of that is to create a rapport, right? To create that trust, to create that foundation there so that that person will feel safe and will feel comfortable to be vulnerable and let everything come up and to be able to release it. Because it's scary. It's scary. It's scary to go into the pain. It's scary to go into the trauma. It's hurtful. It's painful. And so safety is paramount. So if you happen to be in an environment that is not safe, or there isn't safety there, then you're going to struggle with changing your life. You're going to struggle with healing whatever's going on and being able to transform your life and to realize who you truly are and who you were born to be. So you have to change your environment. You have to find teachers or coaches or mentors or people that are not judgmental, the ones that have compassion, have empathy, true empathy, so that you can give yourself the best shot. And if you prefer not to do the healing and transformative work with other people, then if you're doing it by yourself, then you have to feel safe in your home environment or wherever it is. Otherwise, you will not be able to access the deepest parts of whatever is getting triggered in your life, and certainly to transform how it's impacting everything in your world. So safety is number one. It's not number one on the list. It's equal, but it's the first item. The second item is honesty. Now, this one's an interesting one because a lot of people think that they are honest with themselves. But the truth is, we're not honest with ourselves. If there's any level of being shut down, right, and closed off and being narrow-minded and having your blinders on and not being open to receiving guidance and receiving and hearing out new possibilities, which of course you then filter through your discernment or ask questions for clarity and so forth. But if you're not open to all possibilities, then how can you truly be honest with yourself? Because if there's something that's not working in your life, there's something that you're not able to deal with, or something that's not working, your relationship's not working, or your work situation, or you struggle with this and struggle with that, and you're not living at 100% in all areas of your life, and living the miracle of what this life is meant to be, then something inside of you needs to change. And if you're not open to that change, you're not open to the guidance, you're not open to the messages that Spirit is giving you, and you're closed off to that, and you're not open to hearing it, then you're going to struggle with everything and anything that comes your way, because the universe is always speaking to us, always communicating. The body is always speaking to us. And if you're in that situation where your life isn't as blessed and magical, and your life experience is not what it could possibly be at the highest, right? A lot of people don't even believe it's even possible to live in true peace, in true love, in true unconditional love, and to be guided and navigated, and to be in the flow and not impacted by anything in the world around you. People don't even believe that's possible. But you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be willing to listen and to see what your thoughts and what's going on inside of you, and to be honest about it. I can't tell you how many people I might share some of these concepts with, and they'll go, yeah, I already know that. And it's like, well, then why are you here? Why does your life look the way that it does? They're not being honest with themselves. They think that because they read a book, that now that means they know something. Yeah, you know it, but you're not living it. You haven't realized it. It hasn't become something that's a part of you. And all limiting belief systems in any way, shape, or form, any limiting belief systems or limiting self-talk are lies in the first place. So we're not honest with ourselves, but you have to admit that. You have to admit when you're doing things half-assed versus putting truly your heart and soul into something. So that's why that's one of the critical ones. And as I said, there's so many more, but there's only 3 that I really want to touch on, because these are the ones that a lot of people don't really talk about, and they don't look at it from the highest perspective. Because most people, I know so many people that say, I'm not a liar, I never lie. And it's like, yeah, you might not lie to other people, maybe, but we lie to ourselves far more often than we think. And a lot of it is also unconscious. And you know that that's taking place because your world reflects that. And that's why this work is so profound, going inwards and removing all the non-love, all the pain, all the suffering, all the limiting belief systems and everything out of your body, out of your ecosystem, so that you can literally become superhuman and become all that you were born to be and all that you truly are, and to allow your gifts and your talents to finally shine through if they haven't already. Because everybody has a purpose in this world. Everybody is equally as significant as the other. There is no better than or worse than. We're all equal. Every single human being is equal, because we're all one. At the highest level, we're all one. So honesty is very, very important. Being willing to admit the truth, being willing to take a step back without self-judgment, without self-condemnation, without self-criticism, because you haven't done anything wrong. And you're not broken, you're not damaged, there's nothing to be afraid of, because there's very few, well, actually there's 0 human beings that haven't gone through that, or that aren't lying to themselves. 0, or that haven't lied to themselves or to other people in their past, if they happen to be amongst those that truly, truly don't lie to themselves and don't lie to other people currently. So it's for your benefit. It's not for the benefit of other people. And if other people are in denial, who cares? Who cares? It allows you to be more authentically who you truly are. So the third and final prerequisite is ownership. Without taking ownership of your life and taking responsibility for your life and your actions and the things that happen to you and your creation of it, it's impossible to let it all go. It's impossible to truly transform. Now, this topic of ownership is quite a complex one. And the highest place to go is that you created it all. That's the highest place, because we're all one. You know, everything's all one. And so if something happens to you, intrinsically you, your soul, your higher self, your God self, allowed it to happen or needed it to happen in order to help you grow and heal and transform and to have whatever experience it is that you need to have. Now, I know that that can be a real head trip to a lot of people, and especially people that are in victim consciousness and that have a lot of abuse and trauma inside of themselves. It can sometimes blow their stack. But if you trust in what I say, you will see that it is so profound and so powerful, because it has nothing to do with punishment, you being a bad person, you doing anything wrong, you deserving it in any way, shape, or form, or anything like that. It has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. It's just taking it to the highest possible level, because think of it this way. When you're blaming someone or you're in victim consciousness, your energy, right, is with them. It's projected onto them. So your energy is out there, and that drains you. It makes it very, very difficult for you to be able to let go and free yourself of that trauma and of that abuse when you're still holding on to it, right? But if you take ownership of it and you realize that it happened for a reason and there's a gift and a blessing in it, no matter how terrible, no matter how painful, there's a reason for it. When you are able to forgive, which is an aspect of taking ownership of it, then you're able to bring all of that trauma and that energy back to here. And then you're able to see it for what it truly is. You're able to dissect it and process it and do whatever it is that you need to do. And then, because it's all here, you can discard it. And so hopefully, metaphorically, you saw what was happening there with my arms and my hands and bring it in and being able to discard it. Because metaphorically, that is exactly what takes place when you take ownership. Now, when it comes to using the word that you created it, okay, that requires a higher level of understanding that we're all one, that everything is God, everything is love, everything happens for a reason, and that prior to even embodying on this planet, you pick your life circumstances, your parents, your situation, and all of that sort of stuff. A lot of it is predetermined, because from a soul perspective, from a God perspective, they're the life lessons that you needed to have in order to thrust you into watching this video, right? Into realizing who you truly are, into healing every part of yourself and removing all of that non-love out of you. And let's just say that some of that trauma and some of that abuse and some of that stuff that you went through, let's just say that the only reason why you created it was so that you could overcome it and heal it, so that you could help the millions of people out there that are suffering every single day, that are living in victims and that are not able to find the gratitude. They're not able to find the love. They're not able to believe and not willing to believe that there is something greater that's available to them. So just for that one purpose alone, that would justify the things that happened. And if you actually look at people that have overcome a lot of their trauma and a lot of their abuse that they've had and are talking about it now, a lot of them will look back upon that and say, you know what, it was actually one of the greatest blessings that happened in my life, because they're now able to help so many other people. But that only becomes true when you're able to let it go, when you're able to take ownership of it and release it, and you're no longer the victim and you're no longer holding on to it energetically with your thoughts, with your emotions, and all the different ways that we hold on to the victim consciousness, because it's a form of protection, right? But letting go and releasing requires you to have a sense of self, to understand the nature of reality and the nature of who you truly are and the power that you have inside of you, and to understand that nothing is by accident. We all have our lot in life, and it's not better than or worse than, it just is. But nothing is insurmountable. Everything can be overcome. So once again, safety, honesty, and ownership are the three main prerequisites for all transformation. And obviously, the topic of ownership, I go into a lot more detail in my coaching and my courses and programs, because it's a bigger topic and it's literal. Certainly, if you want to attain the dizzying heights of what you're able to attain in this embodiment, and to find the true peace, the true love. And you know the cool thing about all three of these? They're all aspects of unconditional love. So with that, I'm going to say thank you. Please comment and let me know your thoughts. And I'm so blessed and so grateful.